We were just talking about this, but the Oakland A's, we won't be able to say that for much longer, but the Athletics,
Sacramento Athletics, or the Athletics
the,
of Sacramento of Anaheim. What do
the
you call them?
Major
Yeah.
League Baseball team Athletics, um, have disabled comments on all of their social media platforms.
What the fuck
Uh,
is that, dude?
and I love that you were like, no way, when I
Yeah.
told you that, and you went and checked, and sure enough, I mean, if you're watching this right now, grab your phone, pull up the A's, try and leave a comment on Twitter or X or whatever, Instagram. You cannot do it, and I think we all know why, right? They had posted some advertisement for their final homestand coming up in a few weeks, and their post was 57 seasons, 4,493 games. Four World Series titles, 6 American League pennants, 17 American League West crowns, 21 playoff appearances, 7 Hall of Famers, 7 Most Valuable Players, 5 Cy Youngs, 7 Rookies of the Year, 4 Managers of the Year, over 1,000 players, 1 home, and 0 replies allowed.
It's amazing.
What are you doing?
It's amazing. Speaking of loser culture, that is ultimate loser mentality. Clearly, what that says to me is that the fan base has been just bombarding A's social media with nasty comments all year long.
Oh,
They
yeah.
knew what
For
was going to
years.
happen when they posted that. This is what happens when you up the ticket prices on the final game of your regular season at home, when your fans have literally been boycotting your games all year long, and you know that there's like one game that fans are actually probably going to go to, and it's the last one that you're ever going to have at this fucking dog shit shithole of a stadium, and you're going to fucking charge them extra money to do it rather than say, hey, sorry, we're leaving. We're going to say, fuck you. That's what they're doing right now. It's the biggest dog shit loser organization in all of sports, and like they're I don't know how they're going to build roots in Las Vegas if they ever get there with this sort of mentality, but it's pathetic. And it's like the worst aspect of corporate culture taking over like the roots and foundations of like a beloved iconic franchise in a city that has loved it as long as it's been there. It's gross. It's absolutely grotesque.
I mean, we're just talking about a White Sox team that fired their manager because they were losing so bad. If the A's were struggling, they'd be firing their manager, whatever. When does the league step in and fire an ownership? Like, what the
Yeah,
hell? Like,
you
it's
can't do it.
just
It's privatization. You can't. It's not public, so you can't fire them. The only thing that you can do is stop paying for the product, which the A's fans tried to do. They tried to stop paying for it. That was the only option that they had. They did everything that they could, and it didn't work because of the fact that like this guy's using other cities to bail him out of his own fuck ups.
yeah.
He's trying to use the finances of other taxpayers to bail him out of his own fuck ups.
And what's
But
crazy, he doesn't
and like
have
the
a
league is
shovel,
funding him.
and he doesn't have a shovel in the dirt. They don't even
No.
have fucking investors. There was some stuff that had came out either last week or the week prior, but for potential buyers of the new franchise home or whatever, investors, you have to sign an NDA and not speak about the team's financial situation. So it's all just very cloak and dagger kind of stuff. And, it's just that big fat reminder that we are not all on the same playing field. We all do not play by the same rules. And if you have a fuck ton of money, you can be allowed to rip a team out of a community, to make people lose their jobs, all because you're trying to get a bigger return on investment. That's it. I mean, and the shittiest part about it too, I mean, that just like adds insult to injury. I don't know if it is the shittiest thing about it, but they have an exciting team this year. There's some like
Yeah,
real
they've been
legitimate
better than
players.
we expected them to be.
And I mean, when you look around the league, we've said it. I mean, we've said we're not the only people saying it, but you look around the league, and the league is studded with former A's superstars.
Yeah.
NL, AL, recent champions, whatever. And these are all guys that could have brought a title and a ton of money to the A's franchise. But instead, it's like, oh, well, we'll get it all figured out in Vegas. Well, that hasn't materialized. So now we're going to use a fucking AAA team in Sacramento. what are we doing?
Yeah.
That's how we're gonna expand the game.
They have to
Oh my
build
god!
their schedule around like AAA schedules. They don't even play on Mondays, I don't think, in AAA. So like
And
you
you
have to,
know, and you
yeah.
know, we're gonna be doing a story in less than a year from now. But how tickets
What
are gonna
happens
be
when there's a rain
probably,
delay, Brandon? You know what I mean? Like what's
dude.
gonna happen?
Dude, what's gonna happen when they're gonna charge major league prices for tickets for a AAA experience?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's
I don't
so
know. It's
it's
disgusting.
I'll say one thing. One good thing that they've done is that they didn't trade Mason Miller, Brent Rooker, guys that have actually been really good this year, because that's like, okay, maybe they have their mind set on like the next few years, but here's the thing. This isn't going to happen until like 2028. So it's like those guys aren't going to be playing in front of major league crowds for the next 4 years.
Yeah,
So you
Brent
might as
Rooker
well
will be
trade them.
DHing for the Yankees in 4 years. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. So it's like these guys are all going to be out of their contracts. What's the point of keeping Mason Miller to play in front of a 16,000 capacity stadium or whatever it is? You know, so just abominable behavior by
It's
the A's
it's
ownership.
real life major league. I
Yeah,
mean,
it
it
is. It
really
is.
is.
And they're doing it to the fans to disable the comments and to say we don't want to even hear your opinion on it as we walk out the door and we abandon you is like the ultimate pussy move. It really is.
Fuck
It's just
yeah, it is, dude. I was looking through
yeah.
just like some slides of like old A's
Who do you think?
posts, right?
Who do you
And
think?
it's
Dude,
like,
by the way, who do you think made that mandate? By the way, do you think that the owner said, "Hey, disable comments on social media," or do you think it was like their PR person?
no, that comes from the top because I think a PR person is like, oh, engagement is good, but then it's like, well,
It's
engagement's
bad
not good
engagement.
because exactly it's negative. But yeah, I'm sure that comes from the top because I'm sure they go, well, why are we seeing all this negative stuff? Why aren't we posting more positive stuff? You know what I mean? It's like it
Let me
doesn't
say
matter what
this:
we post. What we're doing is dog shit.
as somebody who works on the internet and knows the importance of engagement, bad engagement is good engagement. That just shows how disconnected that they really are, because they're actually going to grow less on their social media platforms by disabling comments because good engagement actually pushes out your product more, pushes the
Yeah,
algorithm rewards it.
Jesse, you and I have worked together for a while, and we've seen what happens when people get a little money for the first time, right? And some people, it can go to their heads, and now they're a little bit smarter than they were before, a little bit taller than they were before, a little bit more important than they were before. So you throw like a billionaire onto that, and I'm sure that guy believes he's the fucking smartest guy in the room, that all these fans are fucking idiots, and that everybody that's telling him like he's doing the wrong thing doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, and that this is all gonna work out, baby.
It might not
He's
just be that he thinks the fans are idiots. It might
out of
be
touch, dude.
it might be the fact that the type of fans that are in Oakland, and I'm not going to say any more, but I think you know where I'm going with that.
I
Um,
completely agree with you, and I do
yeah,
think that, like, I'll just say it, I think it is like a race thing, and
yeah,
yeah, like I mean, I'm sure if he could have got the team into San Jose, he would have. You know what I mean? Fucking,
yeah,
that's what the 49ers did,
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly. They call themselves San Francisco, but they play in San Jose.
Yeah.
They don't like those cities. They just don't.